Hallo, moin.
Hallo.
Wir sind Lisa und Greg.
Das heutige Video, Berlin is not Germany, Germans tell us.
Yes, and this is brought to you by Americans in Germany drinking whiskey.
Yes.
That's a pretty cool name. Okay. We will include a link in the description so you can go on over there and do all the YouTube stuff. I'm sure they would appreciate that. So this is actually a recommendation. Recommended by the legend, Marcel. He probably gets tired of us saying that, but it was recommended by Marcel.
Yeah.
And he thought it would be an interesting video. It's an interesting topic. So I can see probably be a lot of comments on this video.
Yeah, I know. I feel like a lot of people say Bavaria. I've heard Bavaria is not Germany.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're saying that. So we'll see why.
We'll see. But before we get going here, go ahead and like the video. That really helps a lot. Subscribe to the channel. And we're on our way to 10,000. Are we at 10,000 yet?
No.
It might be by the time
almost.
this happens.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, you can still subscribe.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Berlin is not Germany. It doesn't represent Germany. It's dirty, has too many foreigners, and just drains money from the rest of the country.
And this isn't how we feel.
This is what Germans have told us.
This is something that we've been hearing over the years, but after living here for over a decade, we're asking ourselves, if Berlin isn't Germany, what is? Berlin starts as the capital of Prussia, then becomes a city of industry full of factories, then it's the capital of Hitler's Third Reich, completely destroyed by World War II, and then completely divided by the Cold War and the Berlin Wall. The capital of Germany moves to Bonn, and then finally Berlin is reunified in the early 90s. So we can imagine Germans, they look at Berlin kind of as this teenager almost that like hasn't figured out its identity, you know what I mean? It's young in terms of cities in Germany because you have places like the state of Bavaria that has these deep-seated roots and traditions that go back hundreds of years. But you know, Berlin, it's trying to figure out what it is, and a lot of its history is pretty scary. And speaking of history,
that's true. This is one of the most famous cities in the world.
It really is. Yeah.
So
and I can see that. It's still trying to overcome the negative history. So still.
I mean, it's hard to say, you know, that you don't like it, so it's not a part of the country. So
yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah, just like we don't like Texas.
No, Florida.
Oh, Florida. Yeah.
Sorry, Florida.
This is a Flockturm.
I have family from Texas, so
yeah.
Okay.
So it's okay.
I take that back. All right.
It is, and a lot of its history is pretty scary. And speaking of history, this is a Flockturm, a World War II anti-aircraft bunker.
Now, many Germans say Berlin is an ugly city. You know, it's got a lot of graffiti, it's kind of dirty. There's a mixture of this old architecture and new architecture because, you know, Berlin was bombed to hell. So all the beautiful buildings that used to look like kind of Paris and whatnot, gone and destroyed. So rebuilt in this kind of old East German style. It's not a Munich, it's not a Prague, it's not a Rome. It is Berlin. That's kind of makes it unique.
Yeah, and even for me, the first time I visited Germany, I stayed in a pretty rough area, and I was really unimpressed with how ugly I thought Berlin looked.
Dude, I remember my bus ride from the airport, I was like, this is not what I expected when I came to Europe.
And there are some buildings like these that are...
Oh, it still had like bullet holes in it?
Is that what that was? I mean, I can understand. They had it got bombed and destroyed. That kills me about a lot of Germany just got destroyed.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Not what I expected when I came to Europe.
That might be bullets.
And there are some buildings like these that are rough for a completely different reason. They still have the bullet holes and scars from the Battle of Berlin in World War II.
Crazy.
But is it actually that ugly? Berlin is 40% parks and green space and forests.
Yeah, in 10 minutes on a train, like you said, you're literally in wilderness. You know what I mean? It's surprising how green Berlin is, especially compared to like cities like LA or London. There's so many more parks, so many more gardens. It's a very spread out city. I think it's about 9 times bigger than Paris.
And Paris isn't small.
So you have the population spread out over a much bigger area, which means you never really feel like you're in a huge capital city.
Yeah, and every part of the city, so like every neighborhood kind of feels like its own special city, which it was back in the day. Those little cities came together as one city. So no matter where you are, it feels very different depending on the neighborhood that you're in.
Yeah, something for everybody.
There's graffiti everywhere, so people don't like that. I like the aesthetic of the city. I like that it's a mishmash of all these different architectures, and that city feels like that it's from the people, you know? It's not just, you know, a corporate landscape.
From the people, of the people, for the people.
That's how Barcelona is. And we really like that. It's graffiti everywhere. And
you kind of get used to it. I mean, I think maybe at first it's a shock of you see it as dirty, but then you see it
It's like controlled artistry.
It's controlled artistry, and some of them are actually nice. And there's some every once in a while that's all by itself that looks kind of
Yeah.
But you just get used to it.
Yeah, that's true.
It is covered in graffiti, and there are some areas of Berlin, I won't name any, but pretty dirty. I do wish with the magic wand I could make Berlin like 10% cleaner.
That'd be nice.
You know what I mean? It is by far not the dirtiest city I've ever been to at all.
Right.
And yeah, some of the graffiti here are beautiful murals and stuff, and some it's like some random guy just putting a random squiggly line, and I do hate that kind of stuff.
It's like every city though, right. that's everywhere. You know, a lot of people also complain about, you know, the Berliner Schnauze.
Which I guess is another way that Berlin is ugly.
Right.
The Berlin people
are
themselves,
ugly.
You know?
Berliner Schnauze is just kind of like.
I think I have heard that.
No, I've never heard that.
I think it was Berlin where they're like super direct, and I'm pretty sure that's where they say it's that way. Because there's a lot of different cultures there or something.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of rudeness, but it's not actually rude. It's kind of the way
direct straightforwardness, not really caring what's going on with you, which is kind of good because you can kind of do whatever you want and nobody gives a shit. So
I think people blow things out of proportion, to be honest. It's not that bad.
No, in general, I love the look of Berlin. I think it's super cool. And it wasn't until I'd been here like 5 years and I had a client of mine who said he was leaving Berlin. And I was like, why? And he's like, because Berlin's a pile of garbage. Up until then, most people I'd met like love Berlin. So anyways, to each his own.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
living in Berlin, your bike is pretty much just like your car. You use it, you know, every day.
Yeah, if you don't protect it, it's gonna get stolen. Yeah. It's just a fact. A few years ago, I was stupid. I used the wrong lock and I got my brand new bike stolen.
That's actually why I use the Light Lock X1. It's good for bikes and for motorcycles. And also my bike is pretty loud and out there. So I really want to protect it. It's actually 5 times stronger against angle grinders than other locks. And it's made of this material called baronium. It's a composite armor, which actually turns like the angle grinder's energy and force against itself, making it super strong. I don't know how it works, but it does.
It literally eats through grinder discs, so a thief would have to go through multiple discs just to get through one side of the X1.
And it's actually mounted with this really cool tactical mount, which is sold separately. And you don't need to drill into your bike. It actually has rubber all around it, meaning that it keeps my bike pristine, which is actually really important to me.
And what's also cool, the lock itself has a special eco rubber coating that prevents your bike from being scratched when you take it on and off.
And it's actually officially ranked the best lock by many publications, because who has the time to cut through all of that?
And if you want to keep your bike safe, go to lightlock.com and check out the X1. And next, Germans say Berlin is literally just draining money from the German economy. They say that if Berlin was removed from the country, that the actual country's GDP would go up. And actually, according to a study in 2016, they are right. Berlin is the only capital city in Europe in which you could remove it and the GDP for the country improves. Paris, London, etc., it actually gets 10 to 15% worse. Berlin, you have higher unemployment than other German cities, you know, you have lower wages, and the country of Germany has been subsidizing Berlin, trying to help it bounce back from, I don't know, World War II, the Cold War, the Berlin Wall, reunification, becoming the capital of Germany again. So, you know, Berlin needs that money to bounce back, and so that kind of comes out of everyone else's taxes. A Berlin mayor once famously said, Berlin is what's called poor but sexy, because it's cool, but it's got no money.
You want to get a beer?
What?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I understand where this is coming from, but also remember, Berlin has a big startup scene. A lot of big companies are also here in Berlin.
The biggest startup scene in all of Germany, by the way.
That's true. And also, Berlin has more.
So maybe it's like the Silicon Valley of Germany or something.
Yeah.
With all the tech companies, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody just needs assistance there more than any other part of the
Sounds like the city needs
the
assistance.
city needs assistance, and the people are unemployed, so they probably need assistance.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of draining the funds a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, they're there. They're part of the country. So
I mean, I think this is just like the growing pains that eventually, I don't know how long it's going to take, maybe another 20 years to finally just flourish and be on its own, or maybe it's government that's not doing a good job.
Or it just takes time.
Or it takes time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tourists and all the rest of the country bringing billions and billions of euro every single year.
More tourists than even Munich.
Right. So, your pipe is okay. I hate that I said that.
In the past few years, the GDP in Berlin has actually been outperforming the rest of Germany. So if you removed it, it would make Germany better. It's not true.
Not true anymore.
Not true anymore.
Getting better.
Oh.
Because it is
you
poor
go.
but sexy, is kind of one of the cheapest places in Germany to live, especially if you're a
In
foreigner.
a big city,
Really?
for sure.
Yeah, in a big city. The cost of living is less than Munich, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Hamburg. Makes it easier for people who are trying to start a new
What?
life abroad, or even
Oh.
for other Germans who are trying to, get out of that Dorf and go to the big city, big
Now,
town.
of course, we'll get a lot of comments saying Berlin's not like that anymore. Of course, the rents are rising, income is
Yeah.
staying the same. It's a big problem here, but even with all of that in mind, it is still cheaper than most European capitals.
Which brings us to our next point, something kind of sensitive that I think we're going to have to talk about.
Uh-oh.
And it's foreigners.
You mean us?
Yeah, kind of like you and me. Actually,
know.
exactly like you and me.
Is he getting another beer?
Yes,
They
he's
might not
holding
finish
two.
the video.
There are over 800,000 foreigners right here in Berlin, which is about 20% of the population. And the reason why a lot of Germans say Berlin
20%?
isn't Germany is because there are, quote, too many foreigners. We've heard this around, we've seen this online, and it doesn't really sit right with us, and it sounds pretty racist, to be honest.
It's actually funny that they complain about the amount of foreigners in Berlin. First of all, as a negative, because it's not a negative. But second, you have a city like Munich, which actually has a higher percentage of foreigners. And then you have the state of Nordrhein-Westfalen, which has almost 3 million. So, yeah, I guess Berlin
wow.
has too much.
And the thing is, for us, of course, we like foreigners. We are foreigners. And, living in an international
Yeah, but if that's the case, why do they only say that about Berlin, not the other places?
I don't know. It's just like, a snowball effect that one person says it and then it just becomes reality.
Becomes
and
the
then
image.
They are the scapegoat for everything. And,
Yeah, that's true.
Too much?
And the thing is, for us, of course, we like foreigners. We are foreigners. And, living in an international environment is wonderful. You get really great food, you get different perspectives on lives, makes you kind of grow a little bit more as a human. And, if these Germans really only care about the economy, well, we also need foreigners for that. And here's why. It's estimated that Germany needs 400,000 foreign skilled labor workers per year just to keep the economy afloat, because Germany has too many pensioners, not enough people at working age, and Germany has some of the lowest birth rates in the EU. Luckily for the people who don't like foreigners, 1 in 4 foreigners actually want to leave. So
We see all these comments on our YouTube videos and on our podcast, and what it all comes down to is people say Berlin is not representative of Germany, Berlin is not Germany, but that implies that there is a city that is Germany.
And it begs the question, like, is New York City United States? Is LA United States? Is Rome Italy? What does that even mean? Berlin's part of Germany, it's the capital, it is Germany.
The culture of any country, including Germany, is made up from every Dorf, every village, every city, every state. It all comes together and it creates this hodgepodge, beautiful image of that country. Just like when people think of the USA, they don't think of one place. They're thinking of clams around. They're thinking of alligators in
Florida.
In Florida, right?
No one's thinking Rhode Island. The B. Not every German thinks this. We're not, trying to make a whole monolith of all Germans. But of course, the people that say this the most are German people. Germans live in Berlin too. They love it too. So it doesn't make sense to us to say that something is not part of a country when it literally is.
When you think of Germany, Germany.
But they say that about London, I think, Paris.
I think they say that about Paris. Like if you were thinking about it, you would France would say Paris.
Yeah.
The UK would say London.
Right.
Spain would say probably Barcelona, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe Barcelona wants to be their own thing.
Yeah.
And then like in the US, people would say what's not part LA, maybe.
Yeah. Hawaii.
Oh, maybe.
I don't
like
know.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like,
probably
not,
LA doesn't represent
the
US.
The US, yeah. So I don't know. Every country has one.
Yeah. Vegas? I don't know.
80s. What do you think about? You think about the burgeoning techno scene, about the punk scene, and where was that? In Berlin. But that's when you think of Germany in the 80s. You know what I mean? So or at least I'll speak more for myself. You'd meet people from other German states, and they'd be like, Berlin is not Germany, and we'd always be like, because Berlin is different.
You hear it
from
a
other
million times.
Yeah, and you kind of just nod your head and you go along with it. But the past few years, finally, I was just like, you know what? I thought about it. No, they're not right. That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're two foreigners living here, so maybe if you're watching this, your opinion doesn't matter, and maybe it doesn't. But I don't care.
Wow.
What this whole video comes down to is you should visit Berlin.
Yep, I think so too. And everyone, please, like and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. Helps with the channel. You might not think it does, but it does.
Yeah, and check out these videos below.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, they're just defending where they live and where the place that they love and that is their adopted home.
Right.
And just like, you just have to all these places, the French live in Paris, the Spanish live in Barcelona.
Yeah.
They all live the Germans live in Berlin.
Right, yeah.
But
but they say that about Bavaria.
Uh-huh.
I know they say that too.
But that's Germany.
But it's still part of Germany. I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It definitely is.
From our point of view, there is no place in our minds that is not Germany or not typical Germany or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I think when I do think of Berlin, I think of that it's huge. Mm-hmm. And, what might come to mind is that it's dirty with a lot of graffiti.
Right.
But just like any other big city like San Francisco or Barcelona or...
Yeah. I think the only thing I know just from the videos we've been watching is that people are super direct there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of business there. So business minded people and stuff like that. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the case. But let's take a look and see what the people got to say here. I like the mishmash. Yeah. Just found out that's a German word this German word was adopted into English. Oh. Mismash?
Mishmash?
Mishmash. Oh.
Mishmash is like a
German word.
A mix of things.
Yeah.
Or like they were saying like like the people, the ethnicity is a mishmash kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's what they were saying. Sometimes I have enough of Berlin and then I go on vacation. But after a week, I just get so homesick and miss the roughness and open-minded people.
Oh.
After returning, I always feel a big relief and lots of happiness. Oh.
Yeah. It's all perspective. It's always perspective because that, like he was saying, how people aren't like openly friendly there.
Right.
It just allows you to be on your own and not have to talk to people and, and that's a good thing for some people.
Yeah.
And then some people like that video we did a long time ago where that Brazilian girl, she didn't feel comfortable there because she's touchy-feely and super close. And
Did you just touch me?
No.
Well, you're right though.
Yeah.
All right. I'm from Berlin. At the latest, when you have to register at the citizen's office, Berlin is very German.
Oh.
I'm talking about
like paperwork,
the bureaucracy, bureaucracy.
I'm sure it's all the same.
That's a hard word.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was good. All right, Marcel, thanks for that video. Really appreciate it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion going on in the comments.
I think that's what this video is probably going to do.
And and I'm looking forward to hearing what the comments have to say. So
because we're foreigners. So we don't know.
We're going to visit there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We might visit every state, but
we're still up in the air as far as logistically being able to move there.
Yeah.
It's shocking that it was cheap.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Cheaper than Hamburg too, which I know that was the place you were looking at or thinking about. So but we'll see. All right, we do have another channel, Greg and Lisa React, where we react to other countries in Europe, but primarily the UK. And we have a Discord. A link will be in the description, so you can go on over there and check it out. We have a lot of fun over there, so come on over. Like the video, that really helps more than you know. Wie immer, danke fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Video.
Bis dann.
Peace.